Prince Harry divorces Meghan Markle for regretting his disastrous decisions. Poor Harry, what have you done, lad? Many royal watchers suspected that he married her as big a fuck you to his family who treated his mother so badly. Now it's backfiring on him. The divorce is going to cost the royals millions. This gold digger was only about the money and fame from the get-go. Hey guys, it's me again, and tonight, many reports prove Harry and Meghan's relationship so badly. First, we begin with the Women's Day magazine report. As we recently reported, Harry will be returning to England to meet with the Queen to discuss outstanding issues, such as his visa and his future. But few know that. Prince Harry secretly returns to the UK for a regret talk with Prince Charles. Prince Harry is reportedly to return to the United Kingdom, but the trip might not be totally for fun. According to Women's Day, this is a real unsolicited slap in the monarchy's face, the hand that feeds them, and which literally enables them means to fully pursue the philanthropic lifestyle they are supposedly desire. But they are making one bad decision after another. Royal insiders say it comes Harry will be in for regret and a tough conversation with his father, Prince Charles, when he arrives back home. According to the reports we have gathered, he returned without bringing Archie or Meghan. One insider revealed Harry regrets the past decisions. He must choose to divorce Meghan to avoid further damaging his grandmother's reputation. Queen Elizabeth, as well as Prince Charles, the real father, not the petty father in America. Harry and Charles are supposed to discuss whether the royal family forgave him for what he did. His recent appearances with Meghan call for American fans to vote in the upcoming presidential election, something they couldn't do while they were still working in royalty. Harry and Meghan burned several important bridges that might not be repaired, and Harry deeply regretted it. The source said they cannot see Meghan wanting to go back. Charles was silent for a long time before replying to Harry that he only had one way: to divorce Meghan and bring Archie back to the UK. That way, the anger of the public, as well as other members of the royal family, can be pacified. This source added, if he continues to damage the firm, he will have regrets later in life. It's concerning, though, that she, Meghan, has bailed right now when he probably needs her the most. I hope he weathers this storm okay for his own sake. Meanwhile, an insider discusses on Reddit, some Brits conjectured before the wedding that picking her as his wife was a big fuck you to the royals. Harry has always been the black sheep of the family due to his parentage being questionable on the father's side, so he is justified in being resentful to some degree. If this is true, but wouldn't be surprised if it was. The problem is that marriage might destroy him. Wait till Meghan does something terrible to label her a narcissist. She abuses her son, screams at Harry in public, steals royal jewels, demands extra royal funding. And an expert also explains for this sad ending. She analyzed why the public hates Meghan so much. Wrote on Quora, they challenge British royal tradition by seeking out a private life. I call her a narcissist given the totality of the circumstances. Her fame-seeking, self-aggrandizement, dumping friends when no longer useful, social climbing behavior, and this me attitude. She cut off all her former friends. One soured friendship might be dismissed as an aberration, but all of them? She dumped her husband out of the blue when he was no longer useful, sending his rings back in the mail. She basically made Harry cut off all his old friends and totally changed his lifestyle. He's apparently a woke feminist now and loves yoga. He was vulnerable and she zeroed in on that. Poor Harry is out of his depth. 3 palace aides that have been employed for years all quit in succession over the course of a couple months due to her perfectionistic demands. It seems to be all about Meghan. She wants to be a famous celebrity. Can't do that in the royal family. It's not some left-wing feminist Hollywood institution. There's another sign. No accountability. I made a choice, but now I don't like it and I want out. There's more, much more, but it's too much to list here. My expert continues, this has nothing to do with racism. Please don't pull that card. I didn't even know she was biracial until it was revealed on the news. That's the first card the left loves to pull. Not saying you are on the left. Let's pull that. It works every time. Ridiculous. Have you forgotten that it was Harry who showed up to a friend's costume party dressed as a Nazi? It's like when a black man is shot by police. It's always a racial issue. What is conveniently forgotten is the part about him having just robbed a liquor store, shot the clerk, and pointed the gun at or failed to obey the police. Not saying this is the case every time, but you get the picture. Furthermore, Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, is only half black herself. Meghan is only about 20% black, if that. She looks more Italian than black. She was an actress, for God's sake, and always spoke about growing up how she wanted to be famous. She certainly had the brains to know, as the wife of a royal, the limelight is part of the deal. What about all her photos for Vanity Fair and Vogue? Kind of obvious she craves the limelight. The reason the press was giving her such a hard time was her unwillingness to follow the rules and protocol. While I concede that the press printed some things that may have been over the top, you know what? Deal with it. Meghan Markle is steely strong and ambitious. I highly doubt that she was bothered. She knew what she was getting herself into. If she had reservations, she should have told Harry. We should take this slow and not rush into anything. She didn't do that. You know why? Because she had this planned from day one. Who marries into the royal family within 18 months? Harry had been dating women for years that turned him down because they didn't want to be under the scrutiny of the media. I'm not buying the babe of the woods routine. Most people would never know. Why? She's a very good actress. Her mask comes off in private. Narcissists are very careful to ensure that the false mask does not slip in public. They are terrified of exposure. Don't fall for it. Harry chose poorly, very poorly, and it won't end well for him. Mark my words. Meanwhile, royal commentator Robert Lacey said he sympathized with the Queen when she was forced to make a difficult decision with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. While speaking on Sky News, Mr. Lacey explained the Queen had to choose how best to handle the decision of Harry and Meghan to step down as working royals. He insisted at the time the Queen was torn between her duty to the crown and her love of Prince Harry and desire to help him as a grandmother. The Sky News host said, quote, "In that Sandringham summit and the statements issued afterwards, the Queen was treading that line between grandmother and the monarch. How do you think she views the behavior of Harry and Meghan, and especially now in their new lives that they are carving out for themselves in the U.S.? Mr. Lacey admitted it was difficult to know exactly how the Queen was feeling, but he noted the monarch may be torn. He replied, quote, "It is very difficult and delicate to speculate about the thoughts and feelings of the Queen. We know that she loves Prince Harry as a grandmother. We know that early March this year, she deliberately invited Harry for a private lunch right in the middle of all the trouble. She did this to talk to him and tell him anytime he wanted to come back, he would be very welcome." Mr. Lacey reiterated the special relationship between Prince Harry and the Queen due to his difficult childhood. He continued, "There is such a link between the Queen and the two boys she saw through the tragedy of their mother's death. But she has a job to do. She has a royal family with standards to uphold." At that stage, she did not feel the commercial plans that the Sussexes were putting forward were dignified or royal. So she said, "Can't you call yourself Sussex Royal if you want to create some sort of company to make money?" She said, "You will have to call yourselves something else." At that point, she drew the line. One can only sympathize with the Queen's plight and feelings. She is torn by her love for this troubled beau, but also the consequences of the difficult upbringing that both he and William had. However, in the latest news, Piers Morgan has revealed that his son Stanley urged him to stop talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The 55-year-old Good Morning Britain presenter, who has directed several stinging attacks at the couple, was cornered on the topic back in February. In his new book, Wake Up, in which he slams woke liberals as being a howling mob, Piers admitted that his son urged him to stop going on about Harry and Meghan. It came after the often outspoken presenter slammed the couple after hearing that they'd been flown by private jet and paid to speak about mental health at an event in February. Speaking about the run-in with his middle son, Piers admitted that he was left wondering whether the pair deserved so much of his reporting anyway. Quote, "Dad, why do you care so much about Meghan and Harry?" My middle son Stanley asked over dinner, Piers penned in the memoir. "I don't really," I replied, but even as I said that, I knew it sounded absurd given how much I bang on about them. In the book, which is written mostly in the form of a diary, Piers then detailed how Stanley urged him to find another topic to focus on. "Well, if you don't care, stop making it look like you do," Stan retorted. "He's got a point," Piers admitted. "Aren't there more important issues for me to be focusing on and getting angry about?" There was no holding back upon the topic of Harry and Meghan, whom he discusses on several occasions throughout his new book. At one point, he slams them as narcissistic brats, while at another point recalled how Meghan, quote, dropped him like a stone the moment she met Harry. It's also not the only time that his sons appear to stand up to their dad, according to the diary entries that Piers has written. And you? What do you think about this couple? Please let me know in the comment section, and everyone also talk about them. If you so prefer my video tonight, remember to like and share it for anyone you think will also love it like us. And don't forget to subscribe to the Sussex Daily News team on YouTube to not miss any video by our team. Now goodbye and see you in the next video tonight.